Individuals imagine that 2020 is the most exceedingly terrible year ever, until the day they know that 2022 will be a lot of more awful. Not just we didn't dispose of COVID, however we made enormous expansion, tremendous production network issues. Furthermore, presently a conflict in the east of Europe, which is making a deficiency of wheat and oil on the lookout, pushing costs to rise around the world. Certain individuals are expecting a downturn, others believe is a downturn and some stagflation. The issue is that now, there aren't numerous things that the Fed can do. California's lead representative knew some recommended conveying money to individuals to repay them for climbing gas cost. Yet that is not the arrangement. We attempted that in 2020 and made enormous expansion. Be that as it may, if not for printing cash, the 2020 emergency would have been a lot of more awful. Recollect what has been going on with the financial exchange in the principal days of the pandemic? Hopefully that at absolutely no point ever rehashes in the future, yet with all that is occurring, there is a decent opportunity that we will get into another monetary emergency pretty soon. So the following are a couple of things that you ought to be aware. If you have any desire to be prepared and remove advantage from the following emergency, offer this video a go ahead. And how about we start with the first? You can tackle each issue with the print machine. In a perfect world, when you have an emergency, you need to fix the emergency to receive in return. Assuming your business falls flat and you hit bottom financially, you ought to scale back your expenditures. Perhaps proceed to live with your folks for some time, quit driving and take public vehicle. Or on the other hand, you can acquire cash to keep your way of life. Nonetheless, sometime you need to take care of that cash. Be that as it may, imagine a scenario where your subsequent business flops too. Furthermore, you hit rock bottom financially once more. Could you at any point acquire cash again to keep up with your way of life? Perhaps. Yet, the inquiry is how often could you at any point do that? Once, 2 times attempts. Also, that is the issue with the US. Since the time the dollar turned into the worldwide cash hold, the US continued to get the means to escape the monetary emergency without experiencing the aggravation. Consider the 2008 accident. In a perfect world, each organization that gave garbage credits or guaranteed them ought to have endured. In any case, the public authority is like, on the off chance that this organization would fail, many thousands. On the off chance that not millions would lose their positions. So why not get cash to simply rescue them? Furthermore, we'll pay that obligation later, blast, rather than 10 or 15 years. The US is out of the emergency in several years. In 2020, we had to remain in our homes. However, we wanted cash to cover for the bills. So the public authority is like, simply sit back and relax, we'll send you upgrade checks. What's more, the organizations are like, what about us? Just sit back and relax. We'll likewise give you as much cash as you need. So we escaped the emergency moderately simple. Assuming that this was done in some other country, other than the US, either would have had out of control inflation in light of the fact that the comfortable isn't held as a hold won't need. Obviously, different nations really do print cash also, however not at the size of the US, but rather that doesn't mean there is no restriction to this printing cash culture. The inquiry is what number of more crises could we at any point address by printing cash? We don't have any idea, yet assuming we fall into another downturn due to rising oil costs and the conflict in Ukraine, the nation isn't in a situation to compel right out of the emergency by tossing cash into the economy once more. Since the Federal Reserve is now intending to continue to raise rates to handle expansion, rates were raised by 0.25% in March, however that is the idea of the Fed. They wouldn't raise rates right away by an enormous rate, however would do it steadily. Number 2, consider the possibility that the dollar quits paying the worldwide cash save. Individuals need something to protect their abundance through. Gold is an incredible model. Obviously, it's a really futile resources. There aren't numerous things you can do with it, however it does the work. Notwithstanding its deficiencies. You can stash portions of your abundance in land, stocks, bonds, however by the day's end, you really want a resource that is effectively movable. That is the reason 60% of the worldwide stores are in the US dollar. Since the dollar is upheld by the most remarkable economy on the planet. In any case, assuming individuals began losing confidence in the dollar, when they see that the Federal Reserve is basically printing trillions of dollars without shedding an eye, they will begin viewing at elective monetary standards as a hold cash, for example, the Chinese yuan, which as of now addresses more than 10% of the worldwide money saves. This chart represents the number of dollars are there available for use. Until the 1970s things were generally steady, yet per patient at what occurs after the 1980s, how much dollars available for use carefully altogether. What about 2008? Do you perceive how printing cash deteriorated? Each time we say that we will take care of this issue later, we wind up printing more like in 2020, see that climb. The second the US loses its status as the world's worldwide save cash, this can without much of a stretch transform into a colossal expansion. Hopefully that doesn't occur at any point in the near future. This can lead you to feel that holding cash is an ill-conceived notion, while it looks frightening that your dollars could before long be worthless. Actually, these progressions don't occur out of the blue. For instance, the British domain was on the decay since the start of the 20th century, however its money was as yet the worldwide hold cash. Truth be told, even after the principal universal conflict half of the worldwide cash holds were in British pounds. What's more, solely after the subsequent universal conflict, the British pound lost its place as the worldwide money hold. So these sorts of changes don't occur right away, however downturns happen pretty frequently. Monetary emergency are essential for the financial development. What's more, during crises cash is the ruler. Since the economy is battling, individuals are hesitant to spend which farther conflict since the emergency. So even incredible important organizations battle and are typically sold for a portion of what they truly worth. That is the reason it's generally better to keep some portion of your abundance in real money, is particularly when it appears as though we're going into our downturn. Number 4, crypto will blast in all that is occurring on the planet and stable resources get extremely unstable, and that incorporates crypto too. Be that as it may, without a doubt the inverse is occurring. Crypto is blasting. Moving cash all over the planet is one of the principal mainstays of progress. Also, since the conflict is occurring in this region of the planet, the two countries are investigating crypto as an exit plan. You can give to the Ukrainian national manage an account with cryptos, and Russia's world class are utilizing crypto to get out their abundance from Russia, since Visa and MasterCard have sanctions all cards that are given inside Russia at the hour of the content. Bitcoin is as of now blasting. Since the start of the contention, it as of now has risen by 15%. Precisely the same is occurring with Ethereum. I'm not uttering a word, but rather these days crypto is significantly more steady than the absolute greatest tech organizations, like Facebook. Number 5, let nothing divert you. Rising gas costs and forestalling expansion clashes all over the planet push you to take passionate choices. In all actuality, the world has generally been in mayhem barely 10 years prior. We had the real estate market decline. A few nations like Greece haven't recuperated from that emergency yet. Preceding that we had the dot-com bubble. For the well-being of God we went through a universal conflict, the greatest conflict throughout the entire existence of humankind, what atomic weapons were utilized. So what's going on now isn't a thing near what we have proactively been. Obviously, there is generally a likelihood that everything could deteriorate, however that is not influenced quite a bit by. Your responsibility is to remain fixed on your monetary objectives and adjust to conditions. That is the best way to independence from the rat race. Much obliged for watching. What's more, until sometime later. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumb up and share with your friend. Thank you for watching.